This is season 4, and I am on a mission to help creatives become the most loved versions of themselves. I want to help you step into health in every single area of your life and pursue the authentic creative expression that you feel called to and that only you can. The world feels crazy right now, and we need healthy creatives more than ever. So let's get into it. I'm Courtney Lancaster, and this is the Heal Create Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Heal Create Podcast, everybody. I am Courtney, and I'm here with two incredible comrades, brothers, friends, leaders, and I am so excited to have on this podcast JP Gentile. JP Gentili?
Both.
Did we land? Both.
We did not land.
It's a war. It's a war within the family, honestly.
Thing.
I know. I've heard. There's not a short answer to this question. I'm just going to say JP Gentile and Mr. Eric Allen. Welcome, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So I want to say I got connected to Eric first because we come from the same hometown, and then we got connected again in Reading at BSSM Bethel, and then got connected to JP through Bethel teams, worship teams, and then mostly through this thing that I'm really excited to talk about today, which is called the Fathering Artist Retreat. And it's something, Eric, that you spearheaded and have been doing for a few years. And can you tell us a little bit about, there's so many things I want to go into with both of you guys, but I think because that's the thing that we kind of unites us all is being a part of this, of your guys' biggest project right now, which is, or one of your biggest projects, which is the Fathering Artist Retreat. Can you tell us what that is?
Sure. First of all, I want to say we can't forget the Gold Street connection either.
Oh, we both lived on Gold Street. That's
all
true.
of us.
And JP, yeah. And then I'm just like, right. People think where I live is
JP,
Gold
you
Street.
did too?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know that? He lived literally, you could
No.
see his house from your house. It's where Eric Schuler lives.
What the heck?
Yeah.
No, that is so trippy. Wow. I took that as a real prophetic word over my life that I lived on Gold Street.
It was the
That's
best.
awesome.
Actually, really quick, did you guys know when we had to move from Gold Street because they were selling it, I could not find a house because it was post car fire. And everything was like, there was nothing. And I remember we had 2 weeks to move. I couldn't find anything. And I wrote down in my journal, what I actually wrote down was, God, what are you going to do about this? And the feeling that I got back was like, don't worry, Courtney, I have a house with your name on it. And the house that we moved into was on a street called Lancaster Court.
Wow. Crazy.
Lancaster Court. Courtney.
Wow.
I love it.
Isn't that wild? I know.
I
That
love
is
it.
bonkers.
One of my favorite things. So anyways, we all lived on
God
Gold
does
Street.
those things right when we start complaining, doesn't he? He just, hey, let me,
Like a good dad.
let me wow you.
Yes, although I will say that I have experienced abundantly more when I'm not complaining and more in alignment.
True.
We'll just.
I wasn't saying you were complaining.
No, I know.
I
I
was
was.
Just making it personal. So Fathering Artists, honestly, it was rooted out of my desire to gather and create myself. I've said this on a couple podcasts recently, but I used to go and break into my dad's church with a butter knife and take all my friends on into the church. And we're a Pentecostal church, so we had the drums and the amps and guitars. And we'd go in, and that was the most intoxicating thing for me was we would go get the little recorders where you press the record and the play button at the same time. We couldn't afford tapes, so we'd go find like worship tapes that my parents never listened to and cover the tops of them with tape so we could record over them. But that whole experience of going from a stage where nothing existed, and then we could leave that hour, 2 hours, and something was created from nothing, basically was what I would live for. It was like the biggest shot in the arm for me. So that idea of creating a space where people could go and create and actually leave with something tangible. It's like I would go and play those tapes over and over, not because I was egotistical, but because I was so enamored with, whoa, we were able to create music,
Yeah, totally.
And write a song. So that was at a very young age. And then as I got older, I was in bands and was doing songwriting, was worship leading and things like that. But I found a heart to not only participate in it, but to encourage others in it. And really was marked when I went out to a retreat in Austin. We were supposed to go out, break up into groups, write songs. Everyone loaded up all their instruments, all that stuff. And once we got out there, it was beautiful. West Austin, cabins, like a beautiful river running through it. And then the group started on day one, but no one was able to finish songs, and there was resistance and personalities and things like that. So everyone just quit. And we ended up fly fishing and playing frisbee golf and drinking beer. Which had that been the goal would have been awesome. But I was pissed because I was like, no, man, we're supposed to finish these songs.
Yeah.
So that kind of marked me. And so when I came up to school in BSSM, any chance I could get, I would just gather people to write. And that's kind of how it started. So, and I became a first year pastor, and Gabe was like, hey, you're going to need to teach a class. What would you do? I had been given a word by Lance Jacobs, like, hey, I feel like you're going to father artists. And at the time I didn't like that word, even though I was already a dad, because I didn't want to father artists. I wanted to be an artist. But something did resonate in me. And so when he said, hey, you have to teach a class, I just said, okay, I'll teach an AMT and I'll call it Fathering Artists. And I had a bunch of people sign up because at the time.
Oh, it was the most popular class.
Yeah, because I think there was a lot of places that artists fell through the cracks if they weren't just doing worship music. And I wanted to steward more of the holistic general market artists as well.
Yeah.
So out of that class, we started doing a retreat back in 2014 was our first retreat, spring of 2014, I believe. And and we've been doing 2 or 3 every year since that.
Yes. And so what this retreat is, so I've gone 4 times, twice as a participant and once as a performer and once as a collaborator, speaker, teacher. And what is this event has, for me personally, been so catalytic and so important in my story as an artist, because what artists need is evidence that the thing that they want to do can be done.
Yes.
And so it's so good for your brain. It's so good for your nervous system. It does feel, for a lot of people, I think it feels really nerve-wracking. It can feel really high stakes or scary. It's funny because being on this side of it as a supporter, I'm like, you're good, guys. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal, but like, we just want you to win. And so what we do is you guys have gotten people into, I can edit this out if you don't want this included, but like, you get people into groups and they write a song together, small groups, write a song together with support, with mentors. We take breaks to learn about songwriting, to learn about emotional health, to learn about the creative process, the spiritual process of creating art. And then they perform the song that they've written that night with support, not only like emotional support, but also like musical support from actual artists. And it is every single time that I've been there, and I know you guys can attest to this, it is incredible to see the breakthrough that happens and to see what happens with the artist after that. And I know you have like a ton of stories of people who have come out of these retreats and like what they're doing now and how that was like such a huge deal. It was a huge deal for me. Is there anything you want to add about like what the actual retreat is, JP?
Yeah, go for it, James.
Yeah. I think it's applying action and execution. You have to write a song, finish a song and perform a song in the same day with a bunch of strangers.
Yeah.
And that is like this controlled agitation.
Yeah.
That happens. If I have, a month to turn in a song, I'm gonna be stressing for a month.
Yeah.
If I have 20 minutes or a day, it'll only be for that amount of time.
Yeah.
So the beauty of them doing something is after they get done, they're like, oh, we're talking about a thing, or we're experiencing a thing, as opposed to the potential, that nagginess that just stays with you for your whole life. So getting to see that moment where they, have to learn compromise, they, deal with the stuff, that the soot that's at the bottom of their, their barrel of potential and one dayness, and it comes out, then all of a sudden it doesn't need to be a masterpiece or
Yeah.
perfect, because it's being celebrated, because we're all celebrating the attempt, not
Mhm.
the perfection of it. And then my favorite part is getting to do it again.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've always recognized. Like, once I do something, then I have clarity.
Yeah.
So being able to, okay, try that one more time.
Yes.
Um,
The best part of the whole weekend. You perform your song and you're like, some people are scared shitless.
Yeah.
And then there's no corner of this experience where you're not supported. And then we're cheering for you, and then you're more relaxed and you're like, okay, I did it. And then it's like, let's do it again. And those moments are magical.
Yeah.
They're
Yes, it
absolutely
is.
magical.
And we're always
Yes.
surprised. It's like every retreat. I think that's one
Every
reason why
time.
we're not nervous at the beginning of retreat, because we've seen what happens
Yeah.
every time. But you as a student, that's what you've gotten to see now for 4 times. So when you come in,
Yeah.
you're not nervous for them like they are, because
Right.
like,
Totally.
hey, if you just go through this process, you're going to create something, and it
Yeah.
probably will be significant. I think one main difference between what we do versus, say, like a publisher or a label that sends their artists to go into writing groups or a retreat, the goal on those is because they're expecting it to be good. They're wanting to write a good song. And sometimes ours is more of like the song's the conduit for breakthrough. And you might get put into a group one time that's amazing, and then the next time they're awful and no one has experience.
Right.
And so every time there's a new experience. You could come to the retreat 10 times and get a different experience.
Yes.
And so it's more
Yeah.
about what's getting triggered in you, what's getting unearthed in you because of these scenarios that exist, versus, hey, let's write a great song. And a lot of the people who sign up, they want to write a great song. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it doesn't look like that's going to happen. What's going on inside,
Yes.
But
Totally. I will
so I
say there
think,
are a
yeah,
lot of great songs though.
100%.
Yeah.
Holy
100%.
crap.
Every single time,
Oh my gosh.
I'm shocked, because I can't overestimate what someone is going to do when they're believed in.
Yes.
It's
100%.
impossible to do.
Yeah.
So I'm genuinely surprised, because they're translating this concentrated moment of belongingness, and they respond.
Yeah.
And that response gets to be celebrated. And if this whole
Yeah.
goal of writing a perfect song is for acknowledgement
Yeah.
and celebration, when you're surrounded around a bunch of people that were strangers a day ago, but we share this like common suffering of attempting to be
Yeah.
vulnerable, we're celebrating not so much the song, we're celebrating, the passing through of that obstacle that your imagination has been hijacked to create your reality. And, Father and Artist is basically going like, in that retreat, the obstacle isn't in the way. Like, the obstacle
Yes.
is the way. So
Yes.
let's go right through it.
Yeah.
And then we all celebrate. You
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
And then everything else is a bonus. Oh my gosh, that sounded amazing. Oh my gosh, that melody.
Totally.
Oh my gosh, that lyric.
Yeah. Right.
But there's just there's so much to celebrate in that developmental attempt and try
Yeah.
that really gets stripped away when we're just surrounded by ideas of outcome or product, or where will this, be best optimized.
Yeah.
We
Right.
lose that initial thing. And so here at that retreat, we get to go crazy, and it's
Yeah.
real. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to fake it for, almost 15 years. I have a really hard time faking or flattering anybody. But if something is worth celebration, there's no need to tone it down or look proper or polite. It's like, no, this is a perfectly reasonable time to be ridiculous and yell
Yeah.
and use your whole
Yeah.
body to celebrate.
Well, you have a hard time faking and flattering, JP. That's true. Of course, I know that about you. But also, you are one of the most genuinely encouraging people. And I think
100%.
to be seen by you is a life-changing experience.
Mm.
So I think like the people that come to this would all say the same thing. Like, to be seen by you and you, Eric, which is why the name Fathering Artist, it always, like, I've been bumped by it, because I'm like, well, and mothering. But I'm
Yes.
like,
Yes.
but what we're saying is, like, God the Father, Jesus called God Dad. And what I know about supporting creatives and the way that I support creatives is so informed by, like, what would a well-loved child
Mm-hmm.
do?
Mm-hmm.
What would a well-loved child behave like? What would it be like to be an adult who grew up with a childhood where you were resourced, supported, believed in, covered? And what so many of us are invited to do in adulthood is kind of recreate those experiences for ourselves with support,
Yeah.
using our imagination. But this Fathering Artist is a real life experience of so many of the things that a lot of us should have had as creative kids. And being seen by people who fully believe in you and who are only looking for the best and are bringing out who you actually are is like, will change your brain's relationship to your art and creativity.
Yes. Well said.
Yes. Yeah, very
Yes.
good.
Well said.
Which is,
I want to say something, because I think this is
tell me.
I think
Say
it's
it.
universal for everyone, but like my encouragement and genuineness towards others is the lifelong battle I've had.
Yeah.
To be seen, to be understood, to belong, to fit in. That has been like the biggest challenge of my life. And so that that being a thing that people receive as genuine is because there was such an absence of it, and such a
Yeah.
longing for it, and such a refusal to
Yeah.
to settle.
Yeah.
I've given up many, many times. It's taken me to jail. It's taken me to mental hospitals. It's taken me to
Yeah.
rehab. It's taken me to lost relationships, all these different
Yeah.
things. But the beauty of that is whatever an individual struggles with the deepest, whatever their biggest pain or their greatest betrayal, that is actually, that's your purpose.
Yeah.
Like, that's the place you're going to walk in. So it's the signpost as opposed
Yeah.
to the thing to run from. And so if anybody feels disqualified, or their deepest longing and feeling like, I'll never have that, it's like, you'll actually be known for it.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
if you continue down this, and yes, like, there will be blood,
Yes.
you will be cut the deepest, but
Yeah.
if you let these wounds become scars, like, they will be beauty marks,
Yeah.
that will really affect and bless other people. And that's like the absolute magnificence of how God is completely unthreatened, and even allows us to go through these things, because he's like, nope, you're going to go all the way through this, and then carry it, as opposed to being tormented by it for forever.
Yeah. Totally.
I would say too, that encouragement without a meaningful connection for needing that encouragement oftentimes gets lost. So, when people come to the retreat, we're also digging into their group, into their world, the dynamic, the things that are coming up and we're giving feedback and we're challenging them, right? Well, then all of a sudden when those emotions flare up, well, then the encouragement means so much more because it's like, oh wow, I've been vulnerable. These guys that are coming to retreat are putting themselves in the crosshairs of vulnerability, of needing to, And so then that encouragement that comes then is like, it's such a deep salve that actually hits a place that gets opened up. The more you become known for something, the better you get at something, the more you cap
Yeah.
the reality of your emotions, what you're going through.
Yeah.
So then all of these, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in professional songwriting sessions, especially people that get to know each other
Yeah.
and then they'll actually be vulnerable with each other. But I guarantee you, if me and JP rolled up into Capitol Music, Universal Music sessions, and those guys chose to actually get into the crosshairs of our feedback and our demand for them to be vulnerable, it would happen. It would happen to anyone.
Yeah.
And I think that's the challenge. As you get better at something, there's a tendency to want to get less and less vulnerable. So that's the beautiful thing I love about Fathering Artists, because there was one writer that's written like, I don't know how many placements he's had. We've had professional writers that have been signed to publishing deals. So we get professional writers, but the thing that remains consistent is that we don't let them out of the atmosphere and the environment where they're going to need to actually cross thresholds of insecurity, fear, mindsets that we're going to push on,
Yeah.
because we're there coaching actively, we're mentoring, we're seeing what's happening.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if we went into a session with Chris Stapleton or whoever, if they chose to be vulnerable, we would dig into something and then they would open up
100%.
something. Then that encouragement would actually heal something.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me.
Absolutely. Totally. Yeah. Well, and now supporting high performing creatives, I'm like, oh, we're literally all the same, which you guys know this. You know this story too, of like one of the biggest sparks for me wanting to move into supporting artists and creatives was Shawn Mendes had this like album that in the time when I was a really hard time, I just listened to that album a lot and it just lifted me up. It was so great, blah, blah, blah. And when he was going to go on tour, I bought tickets immediately. And I was just like so stoked to see this guy with these songs that I like loved, that had whatever. And it was post-COVID and he ended up canceling his entire world tour for mental health reasons. And I remember thinking like, like this guy, I have had these really profound experiences with some of his songs and his music, and he's not taking care of himself. And it's completely, obviously he's created amazing music since he went on his own healing journey. But what it made me think was like, we don't need the creatives to create more and better necessarily. We need them to be supported and healthy and to really know themselves so that the parts of themselves that they don't know don't come up and take over and pull them off of the platform that they feel called to, that are going to inspire so many people. And so, and then last year too, I want to say, JP, when you're talking about like a lot of the encouragement and the love that you have, I don't know if you would relate to this, but I always feel like I have this like abundance of unexpressed love left over from my childhood. Like I feel like I love people harder than other people love people. And I have to be like, I'll chill. It's whatever. I'll be cool. But I want to just like squeeze everyone and hug them all the time because I didn't do that in my childhood. I think it's one of the reasons why I love worship, is because I can just completely unabashedly like scream how much I love and love God and love everything. And at the same time, I have struggled so much. It's been like I know what darkness and emptiness feel like. And we had this moment last year at the Fathering Artist Retreat. I don't know if you remember it. We can edit this out if you don't want to share this, but
I remember by the kitchen.
Yes. And I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, I am so anxious right now. I can't stop eating candy because there's like candy everywhere.
Yes. Yes.
And that's just like, that's always been my thing. Like,
Right.
and I'm just like, I am just like, and I was like, and I feel like I just want to tell you that, like, I am eating so much candy. And you were like, yeah, I can't stop vaping. You're like, and I'm not going to. And we were just like looking at each other like, oh, like this is what it is. Like,
Right.
this is humanity. We
Right.
are so equipped to help other people. It's such a genuine need and desire. It's not fake, it's real. And we are still learning to relax into our own body and creating capacity within our own selves. And that's perfectly okay.
Right. We all have these underdeveloped parts of us. And so for
Yes.
all of these, childish ways, there's a binky. You can call it a vice, but I mean,
Right.
this is a
We're all just
binky.
like, yeah.
It's a binky. Like it's um a, a place that hasn't been, it's been capped, so to speak. And so my brain, which is just a predictive mechanism that is just trying to keep me safe, that can't see the future, that can only use the past,
It's true.
is just going to go, hey, uncomfortable, boom,
Yeah.
uncomfortable, boom, grab this, grab this, grab this, grab this, grab this, grab this, and a mature person is able to choose from 40 to 50 things,
Mhm.
and parts of me that I really haven't surrendered or let develop and grow because I'm afraid of a unknown timeline,
Yeah.
right? What happens if I really let this exile in me out?
Yeah.
All the protectors that are trying to protect it. How long will it be? Will I burn the whole world down? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know how much pain's in there. I don't know how
Yeah.
much neglect. I don't know how much. So I'm working against all these things. And now that I'm, an adult, dad, um, husband, blah, 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 blah. I have all these convenient excuses to go, I don't have time for this, healing or whatever, or the spectrum or the, volatility potentially of what would happen.
Yeah.
But that's why it's so insanely amazing when we're able to confess and really have
Yeah.
nothing in the dark,
Yeah.
because it's already there. We already have ungodly beliefs. We're already acting out of them. We already have strongholds.
Right.
We're already defending them through our actions and habits, which came through a proposal that we
Yeah.
agreed based on a memory that we then attach to it and go, yeah, that is me.
Yeah.
Right. So if we can confess these underdeveloped parts, um, and even sometimes these parasites that need hosts are able to be exposed, and outside of a host, my struggle doesn't have the same kind of grip on you,
Yeah.
um, because this thing is attached to me. But when I share it with you, you become aware of it.
Yeah.
And I become aware that somebody else is aware. And so now
Yeah.
I'm not in this hiddenness. So
In shame.
the shame
Mhm.
and the guilt of it can actually be released and
Yeah.
confessed and
Yeah.
acknowledged. And then the work of surrender and the work of going through, this thing doesn't actually have power over me, and
Yeah.
it's this thing as opposed to my thing.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
but
Totally.
yeah, that it's all written in the book. It's like, confess with one another, and so if we can actually do confession without punishment,
Yeah.
or confession without exile, it's amazing. We have no idea how fast we could actually grow and develop in tandem
Yeah.
with one another.
Right. Right. Totally. And that was why I wanted to bring that up, was because if only there were more spaces like the Fathering Artist Retreat, which I don't know of yet, that more spaces like this. But what is so beautiful and potent and powerful about it is that it is potentially a space, a shame-free space to just be where you're at and to still do hard things.
Right.
And that's the most powerful thing about it. And I think especially now when the world feels like it's September 2025, the world at least feels so crazy. And we need healthy artists more than ever, but healthy artists have to be able to be loved where they're at. So like, we're not trying to get you somewhere new. And we're also not trying to force you to be great right now because we need your art for us to heal. We need you to know fully, as you, the artist, that you are so fully loved as you are. And it's also safe to be great, safe to
Yeah.
be not okay. And it's safe to step into your greatness. And the process of getting together with other people, writing a song, paying attention to all of the inevitable triggers that are going to come up, tending to them, letting them be seen, is like one of the most healing experiences that you'll have. And I think it's sort of a compacted and exaggerated example of like what the healing process is for the creative in general over time. Would you say? What do you
Yeah.
think, Eric?
No, I agree 100%. I think back to a little bit of what JP was saying about shame is, are we using, or hiddenness, are we using a moment where we become known as like a pressure release valve, or are we doing it as like a lifestyle?
Mm,
Because when you have a moment of choosing to become unhidden, it feels so good. It's like taking a drug one time. The only way you can get addicted to it though is by doing it all the time. And so for me, I'm like, I can have a moment where I choose to not be hidden with my wife, my kids, JP, and it feels so good. We'll cry, we'll have a moment. That's what retreat does. The atmosphere of that godly covering causes people to want to be, you know, open, vulnerable,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
unhidden. But then if they don't choose to create that as a lifestyle, well, then they'll just push this pressure release valve every once in a while to maybe feel good about themselves. And I think for me, healthy artists, like, it's not about being perfect, but it's like going the direction of being hidden versus going the direction of choosing to not be hidden. That's the biggest piece. And if you stay connected to God and people, then it's like, I don't care if you're at the stage of like newbie, as far as like your convictions in God or how healthy of a Christian you are. That's going to be compelling art. I think, to me, anyone that's moving away from God, to me, that art isn't going to be, it's going to be increasingly less compelling. Someone, because we're all created by God, we recognize it, we resonate with that true kind of creativity, tapped into God, tapped into our identity. And so for me,
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, just can we get consistent with a lifestyle of staying connected to people, connected to God, and open and vulnerable? And then whatever you create will, does this make sense? Whatever you create moving in that direction will be increasingly more potent, and it will be
Yes.
carrying something that moving in the other direction just won't. But my encouragement to artists to become more healthy, and I'm preaching to myself, is can I have daily, hourly choices that choose to be unhidden? Or am I just tapping a little valve here every once in a while to relieve the pressure?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so
Mm-hmm.
for me, fathering artists, I want to take now what we've done in just retreat form and now bring it down to boots on the ground, artist development. I'm working with so many artists now where it's literally like life coaching within the thing that I love, which is music.
Yeah.
But it's like, is there consistent unhiding, not hiding? Is there
Yeah.
consistent? Are you aware of your motivation for why you're doing this right now? That kind of
Yeah.
a thing, instead of it just being a camp mountaintop experience, which is amazing, but doesn't create lasting impact, lasting effect in these artists.
Totally. Well, and if you, I mean, even if we were to like take it into, I don't know, psychological language, like thinking that you can create your life without love could be, is
Yes, that's
not
beautiful.
going, not going to lead you anywhere you actually want to go.
Hmm.
Everything that you are is love. And I think the thing about when you're talking about like, are we just tapping into love, connection, God as a pressure release, as opposed to like a lifestyle? If you're not living it or moving towards living in a constant relationship with love, like living in love, connected to God, you learned that somewhere.
Right.
And
Right.
it is your invitation to unlearn it. So
Yeah.
Very good.
we're not sneaky kids here. We're not like sneaky artist kids trying to get famous to fill the empty hole. Not anymore. That's not what we're doing here.
Right.
We are returning to what we were created to do, which was to be fully in connection to God, fully in connection to love. And so, yes, I completely understand what you're saying. It's funny because I was talking to, you guys know James Burke.
Yeah, baby.
He's another person I just want to like hug too hard. Love him. And he now is like an executive leadership coach for Fortune 500 companies. And so I had him on the podcast, and I'm asking him like what he does, what he does when he goes into like these big corporations and companies, thinking he's going to say something different, like some other language that it's like goes over my head. And he's like, I look at people's vulnerabilities. We bring love to them. We bring healing, compassion, connection, help them to work together towards a shared vision so they can move forward. And I was like, so basically the same thing I'm doing with myself, and also the same thing that I'm doing with clients, except artists are the executive leader to all of the different unruly parts of themselves.
Wow.
So you go into the corporation of you and you're like,
right.
Who are the hurting parts here?
Right.
Wow.
How can we connect to them? How can we communicate
Right.
with them? And what's the vision that we have that we can move towards? And so speaking of like, you know, wanting to have that be a lifestyle, like almost cussed on my own podcast. Heck yeah, we want to do that. Like, and that's like why I brought that up, you know, that example from last year is because this is an environment where it is fully safe to be exactly who you are and where you are. And we're not going to expose you. We're not going to like pull the cover off if you're not ready for that. But if you're like, no, I see my patterns, I don't know how to get through them, just come and be loved. I won't hug you too hard, maybe. Okay, I want to.
Yep.
Go ahead. No. What are you going to say? Tell me.
Oh, I just love what you said as far as a person being many things.
Yes.
Because that there's a loneliness epidemic.
Yes.
That when COVID hit, it just revealed everybody's internal ability to regulate.
Yes,
that was already there. It just magnified it.
Yeah.
And when you remove the community or a society or whatever, then you have just the community or the society or the world of you.
Yeah.
Which is either going to be in conflict or it's going to be harmonious. And so with consumerism and convenience and comfortability, these are all at war with community.
Yeah.
You know, consumerism as opposed to abundance, right? Like convenience as opposed to community, because they're like a seesaw, right? If I want high quality community, I'm going to have a low quality of convenience.
Wait, pause. I have to like get my brain around this. I always think scarcity is on the other side of the seesaw of abundance. You're saying consumerism is on the other side of the seesaw.
Yes.
Can you say more?
Yeah. Well, consumerism is I'm going to get, right?
Okay.
So
take as much as I can for myself.
Yeah. And the longing is going to be greater than the having. So it's like having a bucket with a hole in it. That's consumerism. Because once I get something, or put it this way, marketing is brilliant in the sense that if you can't get me to want something, then just put it in front of me long enough so that I'm just aware that I don't have it. And then not having it is greater than not needing it.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just aware of my lack. That's the first sin, right? It was the idea of lack, not actual lack.
Yeah.
You know, well, did he really say that? Right? It's the idea of lack. So that's where consumerism comes in, as opposed to abundance.
Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, you're totally right.
Actually, if I give it away, I'll never run out of it. If I hold on to it, I'll lose it. Right?
Yes.
So abundance is when you plant a garden, you're thinking about like tomatoes, or you're thinking about whatever. But if you actually tend to that, the yield is beyond what you could ever imagine, right? And now not just your family benefits, because you're not going to be able to eat that many tomatoes. You're not going to be able to eat that many onions or carrots or whatever you plant. So now there's all these different things that actually come from that. Where with consumerism, I'm consuming, right? And I
Yeah.
can't behold what I consume.
Right.
So it's in direct heretical opposition
yeah.
to beholding. So anyway, and then with community,
Yeah.
we want to have this, we want to have this convenience where it's love me, take care of me, me. But your community is going to, it's going to be on the opposite spectrum of your convenience. So if your convenience is of most importance, your community will always be at this level.
Yeah.
And if you want a high level, high quality of community, it is going to be so inconvenient at so many moments. But that's just the beauty of it. So knowing that we weren't born and designed to be super comfortable, to have everything be convenient. We live like kings if we just compared from 100 years ago.
Totally.
Having hot showers, having oranges from a
Soft
different
beds.
country,
Yeah.
everything. We absolutely live like
Yeah, that
kings and kings and kings. And yet we are obsessed with happiness. And so we find ways to constantly, live out Satan's gospel, which is just complaining. And then we do this comparative suffering stuff. So that's how we love, those become our communities. Can we suffer in these things when really
stress
it's like
bragging?
Yeah. It's like, no, you know what? Life
Good
is
stuff.
not safe, and it's never
Yeah.
gonna be safe, and you won't
Right.
get stronger by being safe. But for right now, our job and Father and Artist is come as you are, truly come as you are.
Yeah.
And then their job is don't leave as you are.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good.
You know?
Is that our tagline? That's a good one.
I love it. Write it down.
Don't leave as you come as you are, but don't leave as you are. Dang. JP, that was a monologue I need to listen to. Okay, that was good. I was I was like crying.
So good. Our invitation
new.
is come as you are. Their responsibility is, what'd you say? Leave differently?
To not leave as you are.
To not leave
Right.
as you are. Woo! So good.
Damn.
Yeah.
Eric, I want to know, in all of your years of doing this, what are some of the most common triggers or roadblocks that you see in singers and songwriters that you work with?
I think the challenge of actually getting into the red zone in their creativity, actually getting to a point in their creativity where they make mistakes. Everyone's trying to contribute ideas without making a mistake.
Oh, it's so true. Yes.
Instead of
So true.
going, one of the examples I've been bringing up lately that just kills this, like it just stabs it through the heart, is John Bellion. He has this guy that he writes with a lot, that he uses his top line melodies probably more than almost anyone, from what I gather.
Yeah.
But the guy can't sing worth shit. He can't sing. He's awful. But it's from a standpoint of tone or delivery. But his ideas are unreal. Well, what if he didn't have the trust or the belief in himself to get those melodies out? Well, then Bellion wouldn't have some of these that he's used in big songs. So does that make sense? So the guy was willing to risk to go into a red zone of being seen as not good, or wow, your voice is terrible.
Oh yes. Yeah.
But yet because he chose to go through that threshold and do it anyway.
Yeah.
He's on records. So like, I think you can't control how big you're going to be, how much someone's going to like you.
Yeah.
Is it you? Because when you when you don't go to the red zone, you're actually withholding self-love. Because what you're saying is my true self isn't good enough. Who I really am, how good my voice really is, how good my contributions lyrically, melodically, they're not good enough. So I'm going to temper that and only contribute when I think it's going to be responded to positively instead of just being ultimately myself.
So are you
And getting to a
saying
place
that,
where
like,
you go ahead.
No. What were you going to say? Getting to a place.
For instance, an example, like if I've comped vocals, I'll sing one line at a time in the studio. I'll tune my vocals on every one of my records that I've released. But what if I chose to just sing the whole thing through and be vulnerable and just go for it and then put that out?
Yeah.
And I think with AI and everything else, I think we're going to start to see like, ooh, people are going to be drawn to these
real.
these red zone. Theo Katzman is the
Yeah.
one that presented that in an interview with Ari Hurstan at South by Southwest last year. But yeah, it's this idea of, oh man, I'm not going to truly be satisfied as an artist, I don't think, until I create or release things that really are me and not just a painted up version of me.
Yeah, totally.
So that's
Yeah.
that's what I see the most with artists is like, they're not actually willing to,
Right.
they struggle with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well,
Like
No. Go for it.
like a fearlessness and just giving ideas, or a fearlessness. And so JP models it all the time. JP has a good voice.
Well, JP,
He's an amazing, he's a great
best.
guitar player. But in the middle, it's like, and I feel like he's drawn me into doing that more and more, is model that to them. Hey, sing an idea out and crack your voice, but keep
Yeah.
going. And then you find the gold, and people could care
Yeah.
less if your voice crack, because we
Yeah.
tapped into the thing.
Yeah.
Like artists, are you willing to put your ego down, be willing to just go for it, and then find the stuff? That's where like the thin place is, when someone's willing to get past themselves.
Well, but what if people love me because I'm so good, and if I'm not perfect, people will love me less? Eric.
Well, that is a problem that you have because you are so good. I don't have that problem.
No, it's, what's so funny is I have recorded a few songs, and I was in the studio with Luke, we have buddy Luke, and I remember I kept saying this, like, it was like a funny joke that was like not really a joke, where I kept being like, Luke, listen, like, it's perfect or nothing, okay? Perfect or nothing. And I recorded this whole song, and I sent it to my Jason, my creative partner, and he was like, this is cool, but it sounds like lifeless.
Who are the people that, like, the session players,
So true.
the session players that can just noodle around, they can play everything. They almost start to like not be as attractive, because you stop noticing your mistake, your crack, your
it like
actually
highlights,
points, it highlights the fact of how good you are.
Gosh, I know. Yeah, it's so true. So perfect or nothing is not a good catchphrase, or is that what you're saying? JP, was there anything else you wanted to add as far as like what you see the most when it comes to roadblocks that artists face?
Yeah, I would say that it would be the editing process, being up at the front as opposed to towards the end.
That's another good way to say that. It's like
so-
self-editing. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just behavioral management in artistic form,
Yeah.
I know that I don't like my life. I've always been around like incredible vocalists. I have intentionally always surrounded myself with the best musicians, best vocalists, best whoever I could find.
Right.
And that was something that I had to be around the best I could find.
Yeah.
But vocally, when I would listen back to my voice, I'd be like, are you kidding me? Like, oh, this is just gravel, because when I was really, really young, I have this one moment of remembering loving the sound of my voice in the basement of like a second grade music class. And I could sing, and then I could sing falsetto, and it was just, I just remember that feeling of like, I love what is coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And then I hit puberty and I dropped like 3 octaves,
Yeah.
and I could never hit that again. And so I had this moment when I was in one of my first bands. I've been with the band for years, and towards the end, I'm about to break off because I just had this radical experience, and I'm like, I can't do this stuff anymore. I'm going to go leave and go to the church. And there was this one moment where I started slowly getting phased out, and I went from being lead singer to one of 3 to
Mm.
background to not at all. And I was like, wait, what's going on here? And one of the guys said, wait, has nobody told you? Like, you're not a good singer. And we've been in the band for years. And I was like, and I remember looking at the rest of the band, and nobody was like, no. They were all like, yeah. Wait, you didn't know that? And so in that moment, there was this like, and it pricked me, it pricked me, like pierced me so deeply that I spent, let's say the next 15 years, just like with any injury, that initial reaction before your brain can even turn on and recognize it, you're going to block on that side, whatever side is it has been injured. So thinking that everybody is in on the joke, and not wanting to get back to that spot where someone goes, "Oh, you didn't know?" Or, "Yeah, but that's sweet, John Paul, that's like our cripple friend," or like, "That's our DEI, like friend." We needed to have someone that wasn't good. Having that kind of feeling, it stuck with me for so long, and I didn't get out of it by myself. I had to have phenomenal vocalists that I deeply, deeply respect go, "Why don't you sing?" And I'm like, "Are you about to make fun of me? Is this some joke?" And one of my friends just said so brilliantly, she was like, "No, I just believe you." She goes, "You can't hide behind your skill. So when you sing, I believe it."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, I want you to sing with me."
Yeah.
And I remember telling my friend this and being like, is she making fun of me?
Yeah.
And my buddy said, he goes, no artist would ever risk their career by having someone that was that bad sing with them.
Totally.
And I've been traveling with her now for, a little over a year now, and she puts the microphone in front of me every time.
Yeah.
And I have to go through it again and going, is this a joke? Are you making fun of me? And she so graciously, this isn't a joke. I'm not making fun of you.
Yeah.
I believe in you. I want you to sing. Now we can focus on technical. Stay here. Don't pull back so much. Can you give him a little more compression? Can you scoop this out right here? Can you put a dynamic EQ on that? And she's coaching me back in this area because I've been so supportive in all these other areas, because I left that 20 years ago as far as singing. There's been a resurgence that's come back, but that idea that, oh, I can't hide behind this thing like everybody else can.
Yeah.
So they haven't been making fun of me, the last 15 years. They've just gone, look what he's doing. Like he's choosing to do it anyway. And that's because I've experienced that. That's where my real genuine excitement comes from, when other people decide to do it. And I do not care how it sounds. Are you trying? Then I'm here, because shame is getting their butt whooped right now on your life.
Yeah, right.
And it's time to celebrate. It's a place where I get to be violent in my encouragement. I get to fight the actual good fight, and we get to just wage war, because for this moment, you are not being controlled, and we get to see you. And that changes everybody. So anyway.
Maybe I need to come as a participant this year, you guys. I'm like, this is so I think we all have work to do in this area. Well, I'll just
True.
say really quickly, you talked about self-editing in real time. Like we're all trying to be the most perfect versions of ourselves, especially when we're creating something, as not only being the biggest hindrance to authentic expression, but also behavior management, which I never thought about. And what's so interesting is that when we're talking about fathering artists, we're talking about reparenting the parts of us that don't feel
Yes.
safe to show up, which is the emotional health process is so much reparenting.
Mhm.
What's so interesting is that secure attachment is what we know to be what healthy parent-child relationships should be grounded in, and it is that love will never be withdrawn from you, no matter what. So many of us in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, especially if we grew up in Christian culture, behavior management was the standard because we didn't know. We didn't have the
Right.
science yet. We didn't know any better. But the detriment of behavior management is that we learned that we are only as loved as well as we behave.
Mhm.
So for artists, the invitation and the thing that I think we're offering in this retreat is the undoing of that narrative around your relationship with your art. And that is where the fathering part is so important. The fathering, the mothering, the reparenting, like the love of God, the unconditional love of God, not only will show you that you are going to survive poor behavior or mistakes or whatever because you are so loved, but it also brings out unbelievable gold. We have seen incredible things come from this. I have seen incredible things come from the lives of the creatives that I support one-on-one through this process, but seeing it in a group over a weekend is like, it's like, I don't know, it's espresso. It's incredible. It's like
No, it
life.
is.
It's life.
Well, and I think that's why I'm at this point so tenacious about wanting to help them when they come down the mountain. Because once
Yes.
they experience that and then
Yeah.
can't experience again, it almost becomes like this
Ugh.
disappointment tether.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
oh, I experienced that, but now no one's following up with me. Now I
Yeah.
can't find that again,
Right.
And that's not
Yes.
my responsibility. But I do want to create more and more spaces to try to help that.
Totally. Yeah. Well, and a gift of being a teacher last year was I had the opportunity to coach a few of the people that came to the retreat afterwards, one-on-one. And what's come from their lives as that being the starting place is like, you wouldn't even recognize.
Hmm.
So yeah, I agree. And I think just in general, we all just feel a passion to see artists supported holistically, knowing that like beauty is going to save the world. Art is going to save the world. We've got a lot of work to do. And it's so exciting and so amazing to collaborate with you guys. Any last words for the people listening to encourage them in any way? Anything that's fresh that you'd like to share? Either of you?
I have something, but JP, you can go first.
No, go for it.
I'm still crafting language around this or kind of researching and diving into the depths of it, but
My favorite thing.
I'm really hungry to see believing Christian artists get more to the edges of creativity, or maybe don't even say the edges, because I feel like Jesus didn't have boundaries, but Christian artists are so wrapped up in what they can and can't do.
Totally. Oh, story of
And
my
it,
whole career. Yeah.
yeah, and if there's a Christian artist that's connected to God, I have this picture of kind of like holding onto the Father's hand, holding onto the Holy Spirit, and just following Jesus. Like when you're doing that, it's like you can go anywhere. You can go anywhere. And so the general market artist isn't thinking about that, so they don't care, or maybe they do, but they get past it, right? So there's not the same sort of boundaries, and so they'll write, crazy songs or get naked or do whatever or explore areas of creativity in their music, especially lyrically, video footage, content, things like that, branding. But it's so much more creative oftentimes in the Christian art, right? Because they're not worried about being in some sort of a boundary.
Mm.
right? So it's very expressive. It's very,
Mhm.
but it's, again, what I would say, pointing in a direction away from God. So going to become less and less life changing, or in the way that we would want it to go, as far as the
Mm.
impact on the listener or the
Mm.
person
Mhm.
consuming that art, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm
Mhm.
like, that's my last thing would be, I want to see artists staying connected, like not being hidden. Like, I'm going to be open, I'm going to be authentic, I'm going to be known, not perfect, but I'm going to stay connected to the Father, I'm going to stay connected to the Holy Spirit, and on a daily basis, and follow Jesus, and in that do whatever I feel like he's telling me to do. And I'm like, man, what kind of byproduct of art will that create? And maybe they'll get ridiculed for it, maybe you'll start to stretch areas that people aren't comfortable with, but if it's God, it's good. And that's what I want to see more artists do, is not try to stay within a right and wrong boundary, stay connected to God. And whatever gets created in that, man, that's going to be exciting. So, yeah, what is that going to look like? I don't know. Like, what are videos going to look like? What's content going to look like? Is it going to be just super duper clean
Yeah.
and super, or is it going to be, oh, can we actually tell a story? What movies do we want to watch? We want to watch movies that that emote or create the feeling that of something that matters and tells a story in a way that feels real. And
Mhm.
so I don't know. I think Christians are going to have to get pulled into a new place where they can handle art that's boundaryless but connected to God.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that was a
Mhm.
ramble. I'll
I like
articulate
it.
it better in a year.
I love it. No, you're good. This is
But
great. Yeah. So good. JP, anything you want to add?
Nobody's self-made. So I think as a man, strongest thing that you could do is ask for help, and the bravest thing you could do is receive it.
Mm.
Um,
Dropping some gold here.
and and our thank you um, gets to be our contribution.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from someone who's been locked up for so many years and has worked through the greatest excuses and formulated incredible things to keep people at bay, or for them to accept me for how I present myself. Um, the the level that I create and contribute will be the level that I'm able to celebrate others. So if I'm just celebrating others and not contributing to the very thing I'm celebrating, I'll cap myself out forever, because there will
Yes.
always be this little thing of, resentment or jealousy or comparison or
Yeah.
envy.
Yeah.
Um, but if I'm contributing and doing it, um, I uncap my ability to celebrate others
Yes.
and create that space. So yeah, just to encourage uh, creatives that there is no your truth. There is only truth, but you do have the opportunity to be honest. Um, and in that honesty, if it is if it's widely and instantly accepted by everybody, it's probably not honesty.
Mm-hmm.
But every artist is a human, and so we go through these ebbs and flows of development. It's only a record label, it's only people that aren't artists, it's only people that are focused on profit that want you to hit every single time, and no human has ever done that in all of existence, and that's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So allowing yourself to have the highs and prep yourself and prep your community and prep your loved ones for, hey, I just had an amazing thing. I'm probably going to crash soon,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and learning how to
Oh.
communicate, like,
Yes.
here's what I need.
So true.
And
Yeah.
it's not going to be a month or a year or 10 years. It might be like a full day
Yeah.
or something, but learning that rhythm and
Yes.
then going, oh,
The
I
rhythm.
feel this thing, and okay, here. But we don't want this,
Yes.
right? And we
The
don't
straight
want
line.
we
Yeah.
don't want this, because
Yeah.
that's not real and this is dead.
For those of you just listening, he's just going straight across in a line.
Yes.
We don't want a straight line. We want
Yes.
the thing. Well, you know, and I had Sarah Baldwin, who's like world famous nervous system expert, on my podcast. And she was like, if only people knew the rhythm of healing,
Mhm.
that it is not this like line that starts at the bottom and then slowly goes to the top corner of the page. It is like you will expand and contract, and the
Yes.
contractions hurt every time.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And then you expand, and
Yes.
then you contract, and you
Really good.
expand, and you contract. And no one is self-made. Yeah, no one's going rogue out there, nor
Yeah.
should they. And I think to add to what you say, if you celebrate without contributing, you cap yourself, and the jealousy and the resentment and the envy actually mean that you have a dream that will not let you leave you alone.
Mhm.
Yes.
And on the other hand, if you contribute without celebrating, that's a lonely world in and of itself.
Well,
I know
it's
that world.
hoarding. It's
Yes.
just hoarding, and every
Right.
hoarder is weird and smells weird. So
Don't
if
be
you-
a creative hoarder, guys.
Yeah.
So we invite you genuinely to engage in what Fathering Artists is doing, and to consider coming in November to Northern California, to the most beautiful, it's not even a cabin, it's like a mansion cabin. And we will be there. We will hug you a normal size, and we will cheer you on. And
And
you are
also
never
before
gonna be
that,
the same.
You're
Tell
going to be
us.
part of Thresholds, a 2-week
Oh, please
course.
talk about it. Please talk about Thresholds.
So yeah, October 6th through 16th, Monday through Thursday, 5:30 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. You can sign up. It's 8 sessions. We'll give you prompts, homework. We've got some amazing guest speakers joining us, including Courtney and Amanda Cook and Zaria Zachary. So we're just going to talk about kind of the thresholds of resistance, fear, insecurity that artists deal with. So JP is amazing with. I usually forge something, and then JP gives it language. So he said these 4 phrases, and I love it. It's so much. It's why me, why you, why now, why not, and we're going to cover those 4 things as a creative in 8 sessions. So sign up through the link in our bio on Instagram.
Yes. Sign up for Thresholds. I am so excited to see you guys there, and hopefully at the retreat. Thank you guys so much for coming. I love you both. Just too much, probably. Bye, guys.
Love you.